All right, let's talk about Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers losing to the Carolina Panthers. I definitely didn't see that coming. That was a huge surprise for me. I figured this game, it was setting up perfectly for Tampa Bay because you got Carolina, who is obviously tanking. They just got rid of McCaffrey. They're just doing stuff. You can tell they, got rid of their head coach as well, rightfully so. You can tell they're doing a bunch of things to start tanking. So it just seemed like this was the perfect, scrimmage, little knock them over the head game for the Buccaneers. And, they went out there and dropped the egg. I think the Mike Evans bomb, that he dropped, I think it was pretty symbolic of the game for them. That was probably one of the easiest touchdowns he was going to get in his whole career. And for him to drop that, I think it kind of speaks to where they at right now. It speaks to where they at. I don't know. The chemistry is not the same. Of course, there's rumors that Tom Brady basically, put his whole relationship on the line, put his family on the line for this season. So for the results to be this so far, it's been shocking. They're in, I would say, probably, arguably the worst division in football, so they're going to make the playoffs. I have no question about that. But I think when they get to the playoffs, I think they're going to get smacked. I think they won't get past the round, So, it's just real tough for them right now. A team who had a hell of a statement game to me was the Kansas City Chiefs. I thought that was a huge win for them to go to Santa Clara against the best defense in football and do what they wanted. They did whatever they wanted. Mahomes did whatever he wanted. Kelsey had a big game. But I thought a big key for that one was Juju. I thought Juju had a great game, and that's big for them. Of course, losing Tyreek Hill, there's been questions, how is their big play offense going to be? It seems like they're going to be just fine, between adding Juju and Scanling. I don't know. It looks like they're going to be just fine. They look like their normal, dominating selves. I thought that was a hell of a statement by Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, Dak Prescott came back for the Dallas Cowboys, and he did enough. He did enough. I thought it was a solid return for him, but that Dallas Cowboys defense is so destructive. They're one of the best defenses in the league, and I think, while he's coming back and figuring it all out, they'll just go slow. Keep it nice and simple. Let that defense lead them to wins. Ezekiel Elliott had a nice game as well. Let him lead them to wins. And yeah, when Dak Prescott, when he gets right, I think that team's going to be a lot of trouble, because they have that combination where they have a quarterback, who had an amazing season last year, and they have a great defense. So, if they can put those together, they can be a real scary team. It's been a real crazy year for quarterbacks. Of course, Tom Brady is struggling with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and now we got to talk about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers lost to the Washington Commanders in a very tough loss. That was quite shocking. It wasn't shocking that they just lost. It was shocking that they lost with such a horrible performance by Aaron Rodgers. Horrible. I don't know what's going on. This is weird times, man. This is weird times to see Brady and Rodgers like this. But, I wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers is asking for a trade after this season. The Packers they have issues with bringing in talent. That's one thing I've noticed with them, especially on offense since they've had Aaron Rodgers. They don't go out and seek talent often. And it's showing right now. Their wide receiver core is horrible. And some things I got to touch on briefly. Tua made his return, got him a W. I'm still on the fence about him coming back. That was one of the nastiest concussions I've ever seen in my entire life of watching sports. So, it's tough. It's tough to see him back out there, but, if they say he's ready to go, I wish him well. But, he came back to a W. And yeah, I think they've won like their last 5 or 6 games with Tua. So, they're definitely a problem. I got to give a shout out to a couple teams that, I feel like most fans don't believe in, but they just keep winning week after week. And that's the 6-1 New York Giants. And that's the 5-2 New York Jets. You got to respect what they doing. So, had to give a quick shout out to them. And I'm not going to lie to y'all, this is probably going to be the toughest subject to talk about today. Because I'm such a fan. But Lamar Jackson, it seems like his play has just fell off a cliff recently. I don't know what's going on. He started off the season like he was extremely hungry to prove a point. Because he still hasn't got his big contract. It seemed like he was trying to prove a point. And ever since then, I don't know. He just looks like a guy. I got to be honest. And I'm a huge Lamar Jackson fan. He just looks like another guy out there. Of course, he can run the ball. He's very special with running the ball. But the past game, it's been sad. And I understand he doesn't have, some of the elite weapons of other teams. But, you got to also point out when he makes his faults. And sometimes, he just makes some horrible passes. So I'm hoping he can turn it around. But it looks bad right now, I'm sure he'll get his money either way, but this is definitely a horrible statement. Now we got to take it to basketball. We got to take it to the NBA. Of course, the Warriors are walking into the season, the NBA champions, but they've had some drama. It's been a little while now, so I won't touch on it too much. But of course, Draymond Green landing that tough haymaker on Jordan Poole. And it's seeming like things haven't been the same since. That's definitely tough. It definitely didn't help that Draymond went and did did some TNT tear-jerking documentary about it. It's ridiculous. That definitely didn't help. Now, the Los Angeles Lakers. Oh my God. I hope all the fans are ready for a long, long ride, because this is going to be horrible. This seems like it might be worse than last year, how hard that is to believe. It's tough, and I'm one of those people who don't like putting all the blame on Russell Westbrook, because it's definitely not just his fault. But a lot of it is his fault. A lot of it is his fault. He has been horrible to start the season off. They're 0-3, and he has been god-awful. There's no way around it. I think he's been so horrible. It's already, the trade market for him was already extremely, extremely bleak. Now, I think guys are just going to laugh at you if you call him. I think if Rob Pelinka calls anybody, they're laughing in his face and hanging up. Nobody's interested in Russell Westbrook. This has been a very weird team that they put together around LeBron. I mean, in theory, it should be AD's team now. LeBron is 38 years old. It should be AD's team now. But I'm telling y'all right now, that's never happening. It's going to be LeBron's team, and then whoever they get is going to surpass AD. AD will never be the number one for this team. It's not happening. But it's been very tough for them. 0-3. They just lost a close one to Portland, where Russell Westbrook, I want to say maybe 28 seconds was left. Don't quote me on that. I don't have the info in front of me. He takes an ill-advised shot while they were up 1. And yeah, it's been tough, I don't see no hope for the Lakers. I'm gonna be honest. And they don't even have their pick on top of that. New Orleans has their pick, so they can't even tank. It's tough, man. Yeah, it's gonna be a long season for those guys. My final thoughts on the start of the NBA season is the MVP race. I think it's gonna be between Ja Morant and Steph Curry. And why I say that is because, of course, it's usually narrative-based. They usually love a great storyline. And I feel like this is just too perfect. Of course, they had the Memphis Golden State playoff series last season. And I think now they're ready to crown Ja Morant. I think it's his time where they want to start putting that focus on him and help him, kind of lead the game forward. But of course, they love him some Steph Curry. And he's the legend. He's the guy who solidified himself as a top 10 player with his finals performance. So I think they want to set that up. And I honestly don't know who's going to come out on top of that. But I think think that's going to be the storyline. So y'all look out for that. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This is Clutch County. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll make sure to hit y'all with these weekly updates.